External Affairs Minister S Jaishankar, who is in the UAE to hold wide-range talks with his United Arab Emirates counterpart, Abdullah bin Zayed Al Nahyan. The two leaders are also expected to deliberate on overall situation when it comes to the situation in Gaza, besides bilateral relation talks which took place in Abu Dhabi yesterday. Now, before his bilateral with Al Nahyan, the foreign minister also visited the iconic BAPS Hindu temple in Abu Dhabi. Do remember, it's a temple that was inaugurated by Prime Minister Modi back in February this year. And Jaishankar's visit allowed the two countries to review their comprehensive strategic partnership as well as regional and global developments taking place. So this is a very significant visit of the foreign minister in the UAE. He met with Al Nahyan yesterday, and these are visuals of that iconic temple BAPS. Before having those talks with his counterpart, he was at the BAPS temple. He did describe it as a very significant place. He described it saying that this is a testimony of the relationship that India and the UAE have, saying that this is a symbol of the India-UAE friendship. This is how Jaishankar described the BAPS temple, a temple that was inaugurated by Prime Minister Modi back in February this year. So it is quite symbolic of the relationship that's held between the UAE and India, especially given the significance of as far as this visit is concerned. We have my colleague Ghazali joining us. Ghazali, take us through the two leaders who met to assess as far as the bilateral relations in Abu Dhabi is concerned. What all was discussed?
See, this is almost the continuity of Modi 2.0, or the government which was there in part, Mr. Prime Minister Modi's government, and how Mr. Jaishankar was the foreign minister. Now, his visit to the BAPS Mandir or participating in the International Yoga Day kind of suggests that how this government is very sort of serious in promoting its ties in the Middle East. And Middle East is already on the boil, so many issues were on the anvil for discussion. But one of them, which is very important, was the situation in Gaza. We know that UAE is a key player in the conflict there, because all the mediation talks or say the meetings between the Western world and the Arab world as far as the conflict is concerned, either Qatar is involved or UAE is involved. UAE has been sending a lot of humanitarian aid in Gaza. It has been sending team of medical doctors and all to carry out medical operations there for the victims of whosoever is injured there in Gaza. But besides that, how it is important for India's cultural ties. We saw Prime Minister inaugurating that BAPS temple in Abu Dhabi earlier this year. And now Mr. Jaishankar going to UAE after this new government has come to power. It's the second foreign trip of the foreign minister. Earlier he went to Sri Lanka immediately after taking charge as a foreign minister. And now the second visit it is in Middle East. So India and UAE certainly have cultural ties. They also have back in 2022 a comprehensive economic you can say that agreement or a strategic agreement was signed between the two countries. And why this trip is also more important, because we know that during G20 the European Middle East corridor, or what we call the India-European Middle East corridor, was strategized, though none of it has been operationalized yet. But what we are picking up is that Indian Shipping Ministry is also trying to work out on modalities between the seaport connectivity between India and UAE. That is the first leg of the IMEC corridor. So these issues were under discussion between Mr. Jaishankar and UAE's president there during this trip. And also attending the Yoga Day event or going to the BAPS temple is also part of the cultural diplomacy of India, because this is the first Hindu temple in UAE. And Mr. Prime Minister, Mr. Narendra Modi inaugurated it. The foreign minister was there to visit it before his meeting with his counterpart in the UAE.